Just a bit.
What's going on?
6,000 touch, and then it's used.
Okay.
13,000 high.
I know.
You feeling better?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So that was 6,000 pounds less.
You
than-
did.
Did you
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
How'd your son make
It
out?
was fine.
Good.
It was just a pain in the neck because we just stay home. Like,
It's like 6,000.
the thing I tried to avoid
That's
for
not
so
like you were part of
long.
the
It's-
before, right?
Yeah, and so
Well,
I
now
was
you're good for 90 days, no worries.
exactly.
Exactly.
No, I'm glad
You go small.
glad he got it fine
This
because
is complicated.
now he had to stay at
Or breakout
daycare for
floors.
10
Yeah,
days.
'cause you know what happens when
They'd keep him
things
home.
go bad.
It's like-
Yeah.
Yeah.
we need
But it was
some-
fine.
Family
So
time.
that's good.
It'd be like another
Yeah, so it was He got it, but his energy level didn't go down.
Yeah, yours did.
Yeah, exactly. He, we're all good, so can't complain. You know. You guys managed to stay healthy.
Yeah.
About
So
what?
far, I had a cold last
Oh.
night. I still have a cough. I've been throat about a month. I've had a cough.
Yeah, that's how mine was. And sick like one day. And-
Okay, we can start with a prayer and then a pledge. Lord, be with us today as we conduct the town business and guide us to do the right decisions. Also, thank you for taking care of Kendall, and please be with the rest of the citizens of Candor as they try to get better in their illness. We ask you in this Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, at this time, I'd like to open the public hearing for the Board of Appeals law, a correction that we had to make in there. Jim, if you'd,
Okay, so we just requested some changes in it, and it was to section 3, authority and power of the Board of Appeals. And we just changed some wording in there. They had some wording that was directly related to the code enforcement officer, and it is now changed to the administrative official. And we also added 3.2B, which says the Board of Appeals shall not have the authority to decide matters relating to the Uniform Building Code or other state law. And those were the only actual changes made to the new law.
is there any question on the changes to the Board of Appeals? If not, somebody move to close it.
I move we
Ask 3
close.
times.
What's that?
You have to ask 3 times. If
Is there,
there's any.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, there's 3 people here. Anybody, any other discussion? Any other discussion?
I move we close.
I second.
Review.
Second.
Thanks, Ed.
Okay. Now we should vote on that.
I make a motion that we approve the new law as with corrections or with changes. I'll second that for the Board of Appeals.
No more discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Now we'll open the regular meeting. And we'll open with the privilege of the floor, which will start with Curtis, so he can get his in and out real quick.
Just in case.
Yeah.
I sent all the reports to Patty and Bill this afternoon for you guys to get printed off. For the month of April, we had 61 activations. We had 42 of them resulting in a billable call. Our average response time out the door was 1 minute 45 seconds. We had the one call happen in the town of Candor while we were in a mutual aid district. It's the first time it's happened this year. And I will say that it was on the day that I was working, and I will also say that everybody was tapped that day. We had Canfield going to Owego, Nichols, Spencer going to Appalachia, and it was just a really bad day for the whole county EMS. So we were in
Was it a
Spencer.
Full moon?
I don't remember if it was a full moon, but we were in Spencer, and then Spencer ended up covering the call that we were on. Well, it was messed up. So it's the first time it's happened this year. I know that was one of the statistics that we needed to make sure we were monitoring. So I wanted to make sure everybody had that. Payroll, the biggest thing is we're right on par for that. We had a meeting this morning with Patty and Bill. We're going to be working on what we're going to do with next year's financials and making sure that we have a couple different plans set aside for the contingency of a potential billing revenue increase or over profit. As our contract says, we can only keep $175,000 of the billing revenue that we make. So if we go over that, we needed to figure out what to do with it. And so we're going to be talking with Penske and you guys, and we're going to be figuring out what to do with it, because honestly, we had no idea we would ever hit that. But it looks pretty promising so far this year.
This is a learn as we go.
Yeah, it's a very much learn as we go thing. With that, we're also looking at the possibility of, if there is a surplus, that we might not have to send anybody who lives in the town of Candor a bill for service. So like we bill the insurance company, but we would not send a bill for their copay part. Currently, that is something that we still do because we didn't know what was going to happen. But if our billing revenue is high enough, we'd like to look at the option of, since they pay for the ambulance and their taxes, to not have to send them any type of copay portion.
That'd be nice.
It would be great, and it does look feasible. I'm still waiting for some statistics from the billing company, and when I have all that information, I'll be sure to share it with you guys.
How would that relate to non-insured people?
So non-insured people would still get the bill because it primarily goes to the initial payer.
Okay.
But if they're a town person or a town taxpayer, they wouldn't have to pay it. They would get the bill, but they wouldn't have to pay it. And that's something that the billing department would be able to work out with the legal team and making sure that it's only for our taxpayers here. So if we went mutual aid to a different area, they would still get the bill that they should get because they don't pay for the ambulance and taxes. So it's a lot of moving parts and, again, learning curve to figure that all out.
And it doesn't matter whether or not they're property owners, if they're residents of the town of Candor.
Yeah, it would just be any resident in the town of Candor. Yep. So it's something that we have to look at. It's something, again, learning curve, and we have to figure out together. And when we get to that, we'll bring a couple proposals forward, and we'll see what the best solution for everyone.
So Curtis, quick question. So if you're insured, you end up paying something because you pay a copay.
Yes,
If you're uninsured, you don't pay anything?
No, if you're uninsured, you still get sent a bill.
Yes, but you don't have to pay it.
So right now you do. Right now we do have a billing program in place where you get 3 bills and then you get a phone call from like a collection agency and then you set up a payment plan, whatever it is. You could take 30 years to pay off your
Yeah,
bill.
okay.
But that's our policy right now that we have set up. But it is possible we could change that based on what billing revenue we get,
I see.
how we move forward with that. And we're still only 5 months into the year, so we got a little bit of time to figure it out. But
Yeah, okay, thank you.
any other questions on the billing or anything so far? Okay. We had our Mother's Day chicken barbecue. That went very well. We were able to donate back all the change that we were given to us to Kendall. So we paid it forward to the community that supported us back to Kendall, who's in need right now. And lastly, we're finishing up our monitor raffle to finish paying off the heart monitors that we have. So if you know anybody that hasn't gotten a ticket to win a weekend at Tioga Downs, let me know. Any questions?
How much are your tickets?
$20 a piece.
I'll take one.
All right, I'll catch up with you.
Sure, you told me to go online.
She don't ever let me live anything down.
Did he this morning when I asked for a ticket?
Any questions for me or anything that you guys are hearing?
No, thank you, Curtis. I think it's great.
Yeah,
I like
Appreciate
the
it.
information that we get. Thank
yeah,
you.
This is going well, so
I agree.
keep up the good work.
I guess there's one last thing I'll mention. I talked about this in the meeting. There's a couple New York State Medicaid things that are happening that we're talking about, potential Medicaid changes. And that could affect our billing and also some what they would call a tax assessment of our billing. I am working with the regional council and EMS other directors that are in the process of trying to understand what the state is trying to fix. So we'll work on that, and I'll keep you guys all informed on anything that will change on that.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Anyone else like privilege of the floor? If not, we'll move on to the minutes from April 12th.
I move we approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, supervisor's report. Vouchers have been signed by the board. The general fund spent $12,527.37. Highway fund spent $35,725.14. If there's no more discussion on them, we can approve those.
Move we approve.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Reichert? Aye. Douglas?
Aye.
Strozel?
Aye.
Rixey?
Aye.
Rader?
Aye.
Okay. There were no budget transfers. Got a report from the county on sales tax revenue this for March. It was huge, over $74,000. I think that's only because of the high cost of groceries and gas and everything else that we're paying for.
And was for the quarter, correct, Bill?
That's through 3 months.
Okay.
We got a total of 186,000 so far in 3 months.
Just remember, once June hits, the gas tax goes away for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And that's,
gonna highly affect.
we talked about that today, and it will affect a lot.
It's gonna
We just
impact
hope we still stay around what we budgeted, which is a little over 500,000. I did receive the town clerk's report. File that away. If there's any questions on the financial report, if not, we can move on to the assessor.
Assessor. I spoke to Denise today, and grievance day is scheduled for May 25th. We do have a new bar member, and that's Bill Leonard, taking the place of, oh, I didn't write it down, so now I don't have the name. Do you remember the name?
Is it, who?
Doherty?
No.
Doherty? Yes.
Is that who it was? I
Yes.
don't remember now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to date, there's been five appointments scheduled to date for the grievance. Last month, she went around and did inventory and pictures to get them to update the tentative roll. So that roll remains tentative until July 1st.
Do we know when the state, I forget however many years the state requires that they go around and do a full assessment
Like a revale.
A reval. We just did one here,
Well, we did one back
3 or 4 years ago.
back when Dan, Lindsay and Milt
It
Doherty.
was
Was longer.
longer ago than that because
Yeah, it's
Seems
been a
like
long
yesterday.
Been a long time. Yeah.
I think
It has
it
been.
had been over 20 years before they did that one. It'd been a long time before they.
I hate to tell you, it's been almost 20 years since
Because I heard the
last.
state.
No, it hasn't been 20 years.
No, hasn't been that.
Maybe 15, because Dad had passed away when I was at recess. Had to wrestle with Max.
I'm not sure. Ed, but
Kobler was
if I-
the supervisor.
If I
at the
remember
time.
right, I was thinking it was 5 years. It was supposed to be after that. But if I remember right, I think our assessment roll at that time was in the 90-some%, not quite 100. So,
98%.
you know, leave well enough alone when it's fine at that point, you know, but if it's getting down there now, and you know why that goes down, board review. So we'll see how that goes, and then if that gets real bit out of hand, we may have to.
Do a reval again.
But it
do a
could be
reval.
time to start thinking about
But I
it.
heard the state wants it done more often, probably to get more.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, another unfunded mandate.
Just like the school buses.
Mhm.
Okay, buildings
Electric ones.
and grounds. The
Roof bids are,
we've got some coming in.
yeah, don't know how many we've
I think you
received.
said, Carol, I asked you a while back, we had 2 bids so far for the roof.
They came to get the paperwork.
Oh, they came to get the paper. We haven't gotten anything yet. Oh, good. All right, well,
Lots
that's
of
enough.
times you won't get them till the day of.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
No, so,
Okay, that's good to know that a couple people at least looked at it, because we can't go another winter like that.
yeah.
What's our deadline? We have
I think it's next month, isn't it?
Yeah.
If
I
I
think our
remember.
next month meeting, I think. I had it written down, I don't have it with me.
The June 10th, I thought, something like that.
It's before our next board meeting.
Yeah.
Or the day of our board meeting.
I think it's gotta be the day of,
Yeah.
that's when we would open them.
Yeah.
So
Well, it
that
doesn't
would
have to
be
be, we could open them at any time.
14th. Yeah, that's true. Okay, a quick pavilion update.
All of the interior walls are finished and the electrical is done and the plumbing is all roughed in. Now the town needs to do the floors, and once the floors are in, we can install the fixtures. And then, the other thing we have to do is dig up for the water line and the septic line. Do a little more electrical for that, for the pump. Other than that, we're moving along pretty good.
Good.
Did he find that water line today, Joe?
No, he was so busy.
Yeah,
I said, if we can find it within a week, it'd be great.
Okay.
So he'll be back.
Okay. Code enforcement.
Not much to report on that, I think.
I see he gave us a report. It's very nice. I see he's got,
There's a lot of houses coming in,
coming in, yes.
so I think we've had 4 or 5 in the last month or so, which is significantly more than normal.
I see project cost, $664,000.
Yeah,
Add that to the roll.
Yeah, and then, he raised, $550 in permit fees, very good. If nothing else, we'll
I
move on.
like how he did the report.
It is nice,
It's nice, yes.
yeah, I agree.
I like that a lot too.
Nothing else, we'll move on to the justice.
I don't have anything.
No, and we won't have anything until, after the primaries, and then we'll have to discuss what moves on after the primaries, as far as Mary's, future, yeah. Cemeteries,
Yeah, they've already mowed once, looks like. Like they probably mowed again, but we'll deal with that. I haven't been to every one of them, but went by a couple of them and they didn't look too bad.
nice. Yeah, I think I'm not positive, I think they all get mowed twice in this month,
Yeah.
maybe I'm not quite thinking both in June again or not, but that's good.
Everything's growing.
All right. Highway?
Kevin's here today, so I get a chance to talk to him only on the phone briefly this afternoon.
He's got about 2 months worth of talking.
Got a lot. All right, in front of you, let's start out with the 284 agreement. In front of you, page 1 is, and it's my fault, it should be 210, not 240, for budget contractual repairs to town roads. That's pretty straightforward. The second page that I have, and I'm sorry if we're out of order here, is the Fairfield Road Bridge. Jimmy and I talked about this a while back. It's about 200 feet from Fairfield Church. To be honest with you, I couldn't even tell you when it was built. Long before I came, probably long before you came.
Yeah.
So it's probably in the 40 to 50-year-old range, and it's a dire
Is
strait.
that all concrete? They
It
got
is.
concrete floor into it also?
It's the old man concrete, the old forms
Okay,
with railroad irons pounded through it, and it's gonna be
so we're taking that out.
correct. And we're gonna put the box in. We're gonna build the box at the shop,
Okay, how wide is that?
16.2. So,
You got a jackhammer for your backhoe?
no, we don't. And that's,
That would
we're
help.
gonna end up putting in a detour. That Jimmy can attest to. In years past, we've done them in one day
Yeah,
to get the road open. I'm a little fearful on this one. This is, the foundations themselves are gonna have to come out, and they're enormous.
They're significant, yeah.
They're enormous. There's a reason that the bridge has been there 40, 50 years, you
Yeah.
know.
You can't get away with laying the pipe on top of the base of it then either. It's gonna
No,
hump the road up.
Yep.
All right.
because the structure, this number 36 L2 requires at least 2.5, no more than 3.5 feet of cover. So,
We don't
To
want
keep
hump
the-
there.
you know, and to keep the opening somewhat, you know, it's within an inch wide, inch of width and an inch of height. So the opening's gonna be approximately the same. But. Any questions on that one before I move on?
No.
Is the price are we locked into that price?
If we order it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I added some there because of the detour. We're gonna use the 9-foot, steel pipe that we've got out behind the shop that's been there
We're gonna
forever.
put that on the upper side,
Lower.
lower
It's
side.
gonna have to go on the lower, the upper side has got, 3 layers of cable in there and one of them's fiber, so it's gonna have to go on the lower.
Yeah, stay away from that.
Yeah. All right, the third page, the one that I have is Catatuck Creek Road. That's gonna be a cold mix pave job, 18 feet wide, 2.5 inches deep, with oil seal, oil and stone seal on top. The second one will be Lake Hill Road. That's a cold mix pave also, 20 feet wide, 2.5 inches. Oil seal, you know, the oil and stone seal on top also.
So is that the very top of leg down to West Creek?
Correct, yeah. Johnny's down to, West Creek.
Right.
That needs it for sure.
You gonna have to do anything with that pipe down there at the bottom?
Yes, that's coming out, hopefully, probably to be honest with you, next week now. We got delayed a little bit more than I thought we were going to. We're gonna end up, I did a little horse trade and we got a piece of steel to put in that down there. We can't put plastic in there, there's just not enough cover.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't get into that rock. I don't know if you remember when we put that in there.
I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ugly. Page 4, Honey Pot Road. From the intersection here all the way to the Tompkins County line. That'll be a stone and oil project, 2 courses, 20 feet wide. And then Eckler Road. from the intersection of Tholen Road all the way to Whitmarsh Hollow. That's a stone and oil project, 18-foot, 2 courses.
What's the distance on the honey pot?
6.3.
Oh, there it is. All right, I missed it. Are you gonna put a center line down that this time?
I don't want to.
I know, I'm just asking.
I don't want
'Cause
to,
you're gonna get.
especially with stone and oil, because
I know.
it'll
Just-
rip it to
You
smithereens.
get asked that, so we'll just throw that out
I know.
It's not a county road anymore, town road.
Thank you, Jim.
I don't understand why people just don't follow the line in the crack in the middle of the road. That's what it's there for, isn't it?
Oh, that's kind of hard in the fog.
But people don't understand that a center line actually raises the speed limit that people feel safe in driving on it.
Yeah, I believe it.
Okay, so, first we should approve the general repairs of 210,000. Somebody wants to, make a motion to.
there. I'll make a motion to approve the general repairs for 210,000.
I'll second it.
Reichert,
Aye.
Douglas,
Aye.
Strozzo,
Aye.
Rixey,
Aye.
Raider,
Aye.
And the next, we'll approve the chips. And I just had that number right here in my hand. Oh, yeah. So total on these chips right here so far that Kevin's given us, somewhere in the vicinity, I mean, I added up at 454,283.
that's what I got.
But, you know, like Kevin says, the way diesel fuel is and stuff like that, I hope it'll stay at that. He has left some money on the table, and I'm gonna guess a little over 200,000.
When you say left money on the table from last year?
Well, no, our
The
total
total
for this
package
year
for everything.
is over 700,000.
Okay, so we've been allotted 700,000. Okay,
Correct.
okay.
So, what we'll use is winter relief money first, then to pave New York, and then we'll go into chips, and then whatever chips is left over, it'll get carried over towards next year. But like Kevin says, he hopes to, if he has the time, he'll fix some other roads, if he has the time to do that, and then there's, just in case, I mean, something happens here. I mean, if he gets
Well-
into this culvert here at 105 and all of a sudden something happens, he
They
needs
just
more.
adjusted the price index on asphalt, it went up 11%.
Yeah, it's gonna go up more.
It's out of control.
Everything.
So, now if we can get somebody to approve the, chips.
I have a question about it. So for example, for the Fairfield Road Bridge, and it says not over the sum of 105,000. What if it is?
Then,
Then I have to come back to you
You'll
guys.
come back.
yeah, and then we bill it to chips.
Yeah. Got it.
Which is fine. I mean, if that, just throw it at you. If it was another 100,000, we could do that.
Yeah.
All right.
But we would
Have to
have
approve it.
to,
Yes.
go through.
Yeah.
over it again.
I move we approve the expenditure of the chips money.
Second.
Reichert,
Aye.
Douglas,
Aye.
Strozzo,
Aye.
Rixey,
Aye.
Raider,
Aye.
I'm sending over a copy of every page needs to be signed by a councilman. And turn them in
Person.
when we get done.
Person.
Council person, I'm sorry.
Doesn't say council person, says councilman.
I see that.
Councilman.
Kevin, any more?
Yep, hold on. Let me give you an update on the 10-wheel truck that we ordered in 2020. Right, yes. It's in the queue, which means that they're gathering parts to build it. I got all excited, I don't know, what was that, Jimmy, a week and a half ago?
Yeah, last.
They called me about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago and said, your truck's in the queue. Called me 2 days later and said, actually, your truck will be off the line on Friday. I got all excited. To make a long story short, it wasn't our truck.
Ah,
Yeah, the the files at the dealership got swapped. But ours is in the queue. Usually when it hits the queue, within 10 days, it'll start down the production line. So, yeah, it's in the queue.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah, as far as the box and the plow gear and all that, and I never gave it a real good thought, but they're oversupplied, the manufacturers are, because they can't get chassis. So, the day that it comes off the line, they're gonna call them and say ship it.
We'll wait till those are all.
So that's the only good news that I got.
So are you gonna reserve those parts to put on the new truck?
They already are,
They already are.
yeah,
Okay.
so to speak, Patty.
Okay.
They know that the order's coming.
The price.
Thing, yeah, no, the prices, who knows, you know, that's a bad thing. Where was I going? M&C, which is now Binghamton Body Works, they bought out the Binghamton Body Works, they're gonna do the work. I've already talked to the shop foreman, I don't even know what his title would be, Jimmy, but he's done almost every truck for us in the last, 20 years.
Keith?
Keith, yeah. So I've already talked to him, he knows the setup that we're gonna get. Everything hinges on the truck coming in.
How about 2022's truck?
We're on the list. Volvo right now is taking any VHD, which is a heavy duty town type cement truck, that sort of stuff. Towns are taking precedence because Volvo recognizes that there's a huge problem. They're thinking early summer to midsummer of next year. I just got talking, I just told these guys, I talked to Cody Rose tonight, they just ordered the Western Star out of Tracy's and they told them 2025 if they were lucky. So, it's crazy. The pickup truck, I made a phone call today and said, hey, any ideas? And basically the guy kind of giggled and he goes, I know you don't want to hear this, but they're having a chip issue again. So I didn't know this. So the pickup truck basically has no idea because of the microchips or whatever they are. I didn't know we were having a problem with that.
So the 22 truck, is that spec'd out already? It's
Yes,
Already
I-
in.
Carbon copy of what we got.
Okay. Alright.
So actually we pulled an older one. I think it was Timmy's file because they don't have an actual printout of this one yet.
Yeah.
So we pulled Timmy's. That's what we used. The thing with that is they have no idea where the pricing is going to be.
Well,
None.
what it's gonna be. It's gonna be
What's that?
terrible. It's gonna be terrible. We know it's gonna be,
I
you know.
asked
But they gotta give you some estimate so we can budget.
that question, and the number that came about put me on the floor. He said, "You better budget 300,000."
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
And I was.
Are we
blown away.
still locked into the price that
No,
we had no
because they
idea
canceled the order. Volvo
Yeah.
actually canceled the order.
for the one that's coming in?
Oh, I didn't realize
We
that.
were at,
Yeah.
what,
Why did they?
198 or
Because of the
200,000?
supply chain. They canceled all orders.
Oh,
And it basically asked if, do you want to continue your order or do you want to get on a waiting list?
So
Oh.
do they have an idea what this,
This one coming in, not really.
no,
Their prices change weekly.
yeah.
I've never seen this before and I never dreamed that I would see
Hopefully it's
this.
not over what we budgeted for.
It's the other thing.
Well, I'm sure it is, and we'll adjust whatever we have to do to take care of it.
You know, the one coming in next year when he said it, and this came from Mike and Chuck both, they both were there, and he said, I'm telling people $300,000 for a fully equipped, ready to roll plow truck. You know, and that just blew me away.
Which is roughly 100,000 more than what they
Yeah.
are.
I think the last ones were like 230.
mhm.
The last one we bought was around 230.
No.
No.
I think it was.
I thought it was 213.
Yeah, or 210 or somewhere.
13 sounds like 30, doesn't it? It's got that T in it, don't it? I'd have to look, but yeah, I was thinking that, but that doesn't matter. We're gonna get what we gotta get, and we can't survive without it.
No,
So-
so, and, you know, the fire put us in a bad position, but it also put us in a good position that we, you
Have
know,
good
we've
equipment,
got
yeah.
newer stuff that a
Still
lot
got
of
good
people are
equipment,
dealing with right now. I was just telling Patty, town of Windsor, they're just fit to be tight. They're the ones that lost their town barns.
Yeah.
And they can't buy equipment,
Yeah.
can't buy trucks, can't buy, you know,
We talked to
equipment.
their supervisor there at the dinner we had
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago. or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
they're just,
Yeah. Said, yeah, we went through it.
yeah. Elmer Hill's coming along nicely. We should be pretty much done with the trees early tomorrow morning, midday morning. All the stumps as we go, we've been taking them out, so all we gotta do is go back, straighten up the bank, do a little boxing out on the edge. There's one pipe that we're gonna end up changing, one galvanized piece of pipe, you know, that was, probably should have been changed 10 years ago, 15 years ago, if it wasn't a seasonal road. So.
Now, is that left over from last year?
Elmer Hill?
Yeah.
No, that's the Amish fellow that's putting in the new
Oh, okay, his driveway or
Sheep farm.
extension,
Yeah.
yeah,
Extension.
okay.
And, so, Jim, do you know if, well, I'll ask you this question later. That's kind of off the grid. I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the supply chain and it's getting worse. It really is. Filters, tires, DEF fluid, hydraulic fluid, and when it comes to specialty items, you know, air valves and stuff like that, it's out of control. It's out of control. Tony and I have really become pretty progressive on what we think we might need, and it's gonna bite us before it's over. I've talked to other townships. They've got 3 or 4 trucks that have been parked for weeks and months now, and they can't get parts for them. You know, it keeps me up at night, guys, believe it or not. I've lived through the fire and we got through it, you know, and I've never seen it like this, never, ever.
Look at our grocery stores.
Yeah,
They're up. It's not just that, it's everything.
you know, and our fuel costs.
Yeah.
You know, our fuel costs are through the roof.
Are you pretty well stocked on tires then?
No. Like the 2 Rams, I finally found tires today. I've been searching for 2 weeks.
For regular truck tires?
No, regular truck tires, they're thousands on back order. We've got spares, we've got some extras, but when we do our changeover this fall, I'm already prodding people, you know, this is what we're gonna need, this is what we're gonna need.
Yeah,
And they just shrug their shoulders and say, we'll do our best. But the 2 Rams take 19.5-inch tires, and a lot of delivery companies, FedEx, UPS, different companies like that run them. They have a federal contract, so they take priority over any state or county contracts. It's tough. It's really tough. So don't be surprised if I come and tell you that we got 2 trucks down and I don't know when they're gonna be back up and running. It's a matter of time before, and it's gonna be a $200-300 part that nobody can get. You know, Jim and I touched on this a little bit. We've got a huge issue with trees, ash trees in particular. At some point, maybe Jim and I and, you know, Bill sit down and try to hash out a program, but
Yeah, we need to.
they're affecting us hugely already, and it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, well, when winter comes, it's gonna be really bad.
Yeah, that last storm, you know, everybody says, boy, it must have been tough plowing that. No, it was tough getting around all the trees and power lines that were down. The plowing was the easy part.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, now that the leaves are out, you really get an indication on how many are dead. If you drive down the
Yeah.
valleys and look up in the hills, it's phenomenal.
so are our guys gonna cut them down or hire somebody?
There's a mixed bag, Patty. There's a lot of areas where there's some intrusion, whether it be you know, a telephone, a cable, or a electric line. We don't have any bucket truck or anything like that, and it's just not worth us taking the chance of hurting
Right.
somebody.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of situations where we're gonna have to hire somebody with a bucket truck and some skill.
And hopefully have them all mapped out so that
Well,
in
that's,
a day or two, they can
but
hit
it's
them all.
crazy expensive.
So let's just suggest that ones that you think need to be done by an expert, mark them with a big X on them with paint. And then maybe someday we'll ask somebody to give us an estimate on what it would take to take the ones that you have marked down on what roads. And then the ones that you think you could do, mark them with a different color paint.
Just to give you guys an idea, I went up Nagle Hill the other day and counted ash trees. I don't know if anybody knows where Ricky Arcel lives.
Mhm.
Ricky's
Passed
house
it
down to
today.
the bottom of the hill, there's 193 ash trees that are dead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
It's
horrible.
phenomenal,
It's
it's
horrible.
mind blowing. Yeah, it's,
Well, you may have to address some as it is.
so we do, and what we're, you know, our policy right now is wait until they hit the ground, and hopefully they don't take the power line.
Yeah, but I think we need a little more
You know,
proactive than that.
I know, that's the problem, we're not being progressive with it,
Yeah.
proactive.
And you said somewhere in the NICEAG right of way.
Correct.
So are they gonna come deal with those? Why not?
Takes their line down, they will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other
They
thing
don't do it
is,
preventively,
No.
and sometimes they
No,
come
they-
through.
we've
They,
got
they
that,
cleared a lot of the right of ways, but they
Yeah.
didn't take a lot of the ash trees out.
if it gets too bad, we have federal relief money that I'm sure that might be covered under that situation. It's infrastructure that it's
Yeah.
affecting.
It's a huge safety issue.
Mhm.
Exactly.
It's a matter of time before somebody,
I'll
Runs in the
investigate
water,
that a
gets
little
hit with
bit,
it.
but I
Yeah.
gotta believe that
I'm
that would
clearing
be
my mind
covered
right
under
now.
that. And that's why I say to yourself, maybe you should get yourself ready and prepared for it. Yeah,
You may wanna check for grants on that, because I
Sure.
do know the DEC and everything was posting.
Around the streams.
Something about, all the dead trees and stuff, so.
yeah, we had
You wanna
that
check on that.
last year. They were having that, but next thing you know, it was out of money, it was gone.
Well, they didn't post it yet, so now's the time.
Yeah, it was posted last year. I actually got aware of that.
Yeah.
Investigated it and found out that the money was gone already.
Yeah.
Money goes quick.
Yeah.
There will be more flood events because of this as well.
Sure.
absolutely. And it seems to follow streams and creeks and that sort of stuff initially, and now it's really spreading.
Mhm.
And I got one more thing, and I need to kind of turn my hat backwards. I don't know if we have a franchise with Frontier that may be coming up for expiration soon, but we need to put some teeth in that. I am having a hell of a time, and that's to say the least, with Frontier and their buried cable, their above ground cable. I've got stuff tied to trees. We've got open cables laying in ditches. I've made phone calls to way high in the food chain, and I'm not getting anywhere. So if we got any franchise that happens to be coming due with them, it would be really great to put some teeth in it.
And that's who again?
Frontier.
Frontier.
I don't know, I don't believe we have one with them.
I don't
think it's-
recall one.
I know we do, at Spectrum we do,
Yeah,
because we get,
yeah, cable company.
yeah.
And
I don't even
Hafley,
know where to look
we gotta work on
under
Hafley.
revenue.
Yeah, we gotta.
I mean,
Definitely.
Southwick's a great example. We got a mile of cable laying on the edge of the road. It's been there for 2 years. Brink Road, tree come down early winter. I've made a dozen phone calls on it. We've got it tied to trees. I personally went down and tied it to the trees so the school bus could get under it. We've got 4 broken cables right now that they've been broke for months and months, and people don't have phones, and now everybody's switching over to Hafley.
Did you mention Dewey Road too? I
Yeah.
zipped out for a minute. Yeah, right past Liz's house where the road
Yeah,
turns into a seasonal. You can,
yeah.
it's laying on the ground.
Yeah.
And it's terrible up there. They don't have good connection at all.
Our franchise budget is $6,200. And I think that's all from Spectrum.
I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm frustrated.
Have you called the FCC?
No,
That's the only thing that got me Frontier. When I had exposed wires, I called them, kept going up the chain, called the FCC, they were there in a week.
Wow.
There you go.
you don't happen to have a phone number, do you?
I get, it's a federal agency, they'll deal with it.
That's about all I have for tonight, guys, if anybody has any questions.
How about
Oh,
the
wait,
Volvo?
the loader.
Yeah.
So Bill asked me last week, Bill, was it?
A while ago.
Yeah. To grab some numbers, for a loader. This is a Volvo loader. It's, New York State OGS contract right there at the top of it. And the, 232,290 is the price. The other sheet, the one that's got the KS State Bank is a option one, option two. Option one is a 3-year rent to own, lease to own program. Option two is a 5-year lease to own, type, same program, 3-year or 5-year. This is relatively the same size. It's a little bit smaller than what we have now. But the lineup has changed, quite a bit since we bought ours.
The bucket's the same? Bucket?
Yeah. It's within what do you say, 0.1 yard,
Yeah.
Is this just a cutting edge on this, or is there teeth on this?
cutting edge,
Okay.
just a straightforward.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah. Your other one has teeth on it, correct?
It did, we converted it over,
Oh, all right.
a long time ago.
Because I was thinking, anytime you're doing any kind of cutting shoulders or anything like that, you could pick it up with a loader if you had a straight edge on it. I didn't know you.
Yeah, I don't even know, was it a year, maybe those teeth were on, Jimmy, and we converted it over.
Okay, good.
The one that we have now is a 2007. I think me personally, I don't think that the hour gauge is working anymore, and I know that it's up over 11,000.
So you plan on keeping it or trading it in or putting it out for bid or
We'll put
what?
it out for bid. I think is going to be our
So you
best
don't want
bet.
to keep it around, it's not good enough to keep around for a spare.
Well,
Maybe for a little while.
yeah, we could, but here again, the prices of used equipment's through the roof.
Right.
So
I mean-
sell it while we can get some good money out of it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Before it rots out anymore, right?
I
And if
don't
you're
know.
gonna use it once a year, is it worth it?
I don't think we're gonna have a problem getting between $25,000 and $30,000 for it. It's, some of the prices are just insane.
Well, that'll make up the difference of the increase in the plow truck.
Yeah,
Of course, you had to spec this loader to get this Volvo, otherwise.
no, this is on OGS contract.
Oh, okay.
It was already done, yeah. I'll make a motion to purchase the Volvo loader for $232,290.
I'll second that.
Okay, before we vote now, are we,
Discussion.
discussion, that's correct. Are we going with payments?
We have the funds, right?
I believe so.
It's
We
in
have
the
the funds.
budget.
I just assume not pay
Why
interest
pay
rate.
interest?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just do it.
FCC is
Oh.
basically.
Buy it outright, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
They have multiple different departments.
cost a lot more
Service issues or
significantly.
line issues or whatever.
All right.
But, yeah. I think we need to discuss about whether keeping or trading it or selling the other loader though at a later date.
Yeah, and it's, Chris said, theoretically, everything, this has already been ordered.
Yeah.
It's a stock item. They went
Right.
overboard on stock items.
Let's finish this one first and then we'll discuss it.
Get ahead of myself.
Okay, so I guess we can do a roll call vote on the,
Riker,
Aye.
Douglas,
Aye.
Ricks, sorry, Strozel,
aye.
Rixey,
Aye.
Raider,
Thank you.
So, we can discuss at a later date on what we're gonna do with the other loader.
Yeah, because it's gonna be a while before you get the new one.
Yeah,
anyway.
he said midsummer.
So it'll be.
Yeah, we'll see.
In a
I've heard this
perfect
one-
world.
Yeah, I've heard this before.
We'll see, yeah.
Midsummer of what year?
Yeah. I do know for a fact, Ann called me, which is the owner, partial owner, I guess, now actually. And she said that this has actually been on order for quite a while. It's a stock item.
Me personally, I'd kinda like to see you keep the old loader for, like in the winter, to load sand and salt. Just because that's what we used to do and kept a good loader for summertime work.
I agree.
And,
That's not a bad idea.
well, we used to have 2 loaders and that's what we did.
And
And we kept the
the
crap.
vast majority of hours that gets put on our loaders is
As long as it
because
doesn't
sits
become
in
a
the sand
maintenance
pile.
nightmare, it would
Right,
not be able to be
that's-
parts for it,
Yeah,
that's,
but it's not gonna be traveling up and down the road like
Right.
it does now, and
sure.
it would stay in the yard for the most part. So. I just think-
Volvo so far has been pretty good about that, Jim.
Yeah, the parts,
Yeah. And it's been helpful that we've dealt with the same dealer forever,
yeah,
you know.
sure.
Be different.
Names on the wall, but
Yeah.
Okay, if there's nothing else on the highway, we move on to dog control.
Okay, I have reports here for March and April. And they're fairly similar. In March, there were 15 dog complaints, and in April, 12 dog complaints. Now, the bulk of these problems seem to be dogs running at large investigations.
I see that.
And there were a number of not licensed dog interactions. There were 6 for March, and also 6 for April.
Probably the same ones.
I wondered.
I know, well, I would like to know, and to take these numbers apart a little bit. But the miles traveled in March were 82.7, and in April, 80.3. So maybe if Denise comes to a meeting where I can contact her, I'll try to take apart some of these numbers. So, for example, do dog bites investigated and dangerous dog complaints, which are one each? Is that the same thing, or are those 2 different incidents? Because otherwise the numbers don't quite add up. Lost dogs reported in March were 1, and found dogs reported was 0.
Oh.
In April, lost dogs reported 3, found dogs reported 2. So I don't,
Good,
yeah, that's the basic story.
all righty. Any discussion on dog control EMS, which we have this down here, but we take care of it right off the bat with
In case he gets a call.
Curtis. Yes,
Nancy and I have been attending monthly board meetings and that's going well. Feel like we're
For the
welcome
planning
there.
board, I have not yet attended.
You attended the first one.
you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yep.
I should. But maybe we would hear more. from-
And we're gonna try
Yeah.
to like do every other month.
Yeah,
Okay.
like with.
No sense in both of us going.
So when am I up next? When am I up next?
Next Tuesday.
That's the EMS.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I thought we were on the planning board
No, we,
report.
Oh, I'm sorry.
no,
Because we already took care of the EMS, you said.
well, we did, but I was gonna ask Patty if there was, I was gonna ask Patty if she had anything to add to that
Well,
while
yes,
Chris
I
is
do
gone.
remember going to the EMS meeting, just like the planning.
That's good.
Yeah, no.
I'm not on the planning board, so I don't think, am I?
Yes, you are.
I am.
Okay, let's move to the planning board so we get this over with. Uh,
So I guess neither one of us have been to a planning
I
board
think
meeting.
That's correct.
Oh, there we go.
Actually, with the planning board here,
I knew it then.
Ed's here, and if you got anything quick, Ed?
I won't be here in July, I'll be, or not July, August. August, I won't be around, but our meeting in August may be canceled because I won't be around. Anyway, so I did talk with Tioga County Economic Development, as I said, so basically, to make a very long story short, anything that's free isn't available right now.
Sorry.
But for feasibility studies, I am still going to search for free to see. But if we wanted to eventually do one down the line, it would involve a partial match by the town, ranging anywhere up to, I think they said about 25%, which can be upwards of $30,000 for a large scale feasibility study. And that's
Wow, just. for
and that's
study.
why I always stress it's feasibility, because we talked to Bill about that, like, you don't know if people want it or not. That's part of the feasibility study. They do the survey, they find out and all that, so, anyway.
And is that 25% of 30,000 or 30,000?
No, 30,000 would be the.
Is the
roughly-
20%.
Yeah, and
Okay,
those,
I was just curious.
those are numbers that were just off the top of heads, so
Wow.
that could be anything.
Fascinating.
We finalized the emergency plan that we were given.
Wow.
I was going to bring it, however, we, as a board, decided to send it to the state first, since it is a Office of Emergency Management requirement. We're going to have the state review it. They already have reviewed it, actually. They've offered to meet with us to make some changes and also put it in the FEMA format, which is what they would like to see. It's not a requirement, but they would like to see it in the FEMA format. So we're working with the state right now to meet with them and have a representative come to one of our either workshops or meetings where we can go through it with more of a fine-tooth comb and add or take away anything that they recommend. So more to come on that. We want to make sure that what we're presenting is right.
Anyway, Ed, not to interrupt you, but the county has already contacted me about our emergency plan and that it needed to be updated on, and they were, of course, now we know that that's being worked on,
Yep.
and now you move. So, do you happen to have a copy of that, or did you just send the original up there? Do you have other copies?
Well, I have the Word document because it was.
Because
It required a lot of.
I may
Word
contact you when the county asks. Will be talking to me about it because
Okay. Well, there, right now, even though we contacted the state, Art is the one that reached out through the county.
okay, so they're
to
on
the
board
state.
then already. Then
So
I'm assuming. Yep.
he's dealing with it. I forget the gentleman that I'm calling later this week to schedule the meeting, but it's going to be a local representative from the county region
Okay,
that'll be coming. So I'm sure people are tied in on.
then good. Then I won't be
So-
hearing any more about it.
So, more to come on that. And I also, at our last meeting, I was looking up at our sign law, and we noticed that the one that was online was, again, different than our most recent one due to a glitch that Angie found. But anyway, I did notice also that a couple of our laws are still pretty ancient and can use some wordsmithing. So I've discussed with the board, once we get done with the emergency response plan, we're gonna look into updating another law in the meantime until another site plan or whatever comes available, so we can get everything more into the digital format and into our actual layout that all of our laws need to be going into.
Good.
So,
Now, to answer Nancy's question, not EMS, but planning board, when are the meetings?
they're the first Tuesday of every month at 7:00. Same
Okay,
seats, same room.
By the way, I got your nameplates. They came in
Oh, nice, thank you.
Yeah. for you and the Board of Appeals.
Nice.
thank you.
All right, then it'll be all right.
And for the Board of Appeals, I know they canceled their latest. Well, I know it's not on the door,
Yeah.
but apparently the homeowner, they asked them to lay out the property and they said there wasn't enough room to do what they wanted to do. So they're looking at other options, what I heard.
Yeah.
Not to steal your thunder.
Unstolen. Yeah,
That's all I got.
that happened today, actually.
That's too bad. Okay, Old business. Let's start with seeing Kevin's here, the tire cleanup and electronic shredding. We are doing it June 10th and 11th. Eric Lang will need help with electronics over there.
Talked to him already about that.
Okay, one person over there and you'll have a couple for tires.
Yeah,
There will be no trailer because there's none available in the month of June, so we'll have to store them off to the side. And hope, unless a trailer gets, unless a trailer gets canceled, then he would put us on the list for that one. But it'll be in July when it comes.
Even used tires are worth a lot now, so check the tread.
I know.
I just wanted
If
to,
anybody's interested, we're having a tire sale with 12.
yeah, that's, I know I
So
didn't want
we
to do
just-
that, but
Price of a used tire is as much as a brand new
I
one
didn't-
was
I
last
didn't think
year.
we ought to change the date to do that either because July is,
I can be, I mean, it's
Yeah.
medical. and it's
So let's just
90 degrees.
continue doing it
Yeah.
with the same as the 10th and 11th as the village.
Okay.
The county contacted me and wanted to know, we could do it together with them. And they actually would cover the cost, but they also are a little particular on what they will take. So I told them that we weren't interested. We're gonna stay and do the 60-40 with the village.
Okay.
And we budgeted for it, so.
And we were afraid by doing it with the county that we'd end up with a lot more. Could you regulate it to just Candor residents if you were in it with the county was our concern.
And it would have been the town of Candor's, but we would have to go through them and they would do it. And then where do we take the material to? Where right now we're taking it to the village.
Yeah, years and years ago, I believe it was the town of Barton, when all this first started, they did one in conjunction, and they were just over.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine.
Thousands. and
Yeah, that's what we were
thousands.
afraid of.
You know, the word got out that the county's recycling tires, and they just got bombarded.
Okay.
You know, I think that's our best. bet.
So we're gonna continue to do what we were doing.
It worked well last year,
Are we
so.
doing the Weissman's thing too, with
With
tires with rims? We doing that?
Yes, they'll do
Same
that again.
with steel?
Yeah.
They'll-
We'll just do like we have been in the past.
Are we
Don't
doing the
we?
scrap metal?
I didn't know
We
at the
circled
time.
that with a question mark.
But no, what Jimmy's talking about is, people will bring tires with rims on them.
rims.
And in the past, last 5-6 years, all we do is dump them in a 10-wheeler. And then Monday morning, we run them down. We don't get paid for it, but they
Get rid
take
of
them
them.
off our hands.
Yeah, we got rid of them.
Rims not to exceed 16 inches still.
Is that how it's worded last year?
That's how it was worded last year.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm guessing, I don't know that for a fact, but
I believe.
Are we gonna keep the, after 4 tires, the fee will be $2 per tire? Are we gonna bump that up?
I'm happy with that.
Okay,
I
I just wanna make sure that the ad that's going in is gonna be
I
correct.
mean,
I think that's fair.
Yeah, we don't need to make money on this.
And then we just wanted to verify the times, Kevin,
noon to 4:30.
to
On the
4:30, not 4.
well, they have, the villages, well, I don't know what the village is now. Now you question me.
Well, maybe we did do 4. Yeah, that's a Friday. Yes,
4.
yeah, noon to 4,
Okay.
and then 8 a.m. till noon.
Okay,
That sounds like it.
That's 4 hours.
and then
Yeah.
Bill will have to, check with the village, but they're 8 to 3 on Friday and 8 to noon on Saturday. It's what it was last year.
Well, that's for electronics. And
Yeah.
our tires, we can still do it to
Yep,
what
yep.
we're at. Okay.
Okay,
Don't forget to send me a copy of the flyer.
So we're sending a person over to help with electronics.
Yes.
So
I helped
that's
them
gonna
last
be-
year.
So that's gonna be an extra
Yep.
time.
Well, and to be honest with you, we probably don't need as much help because we're just gonna be throwing. We're not gonna be putting them in a trailer.
No, I mean with electronics. you're gonna
Yeah,
send
but I mean, I think I
person
can
over to
cut down on personnel there.
help. Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
until you gotta load them in July.
Yeah, that's when the fun really begins. Then they're raining.
Let's hope it gets done quicker than last year, please.
Whatever it takes, Kevin, to get it. It's for the public, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, I think And we can cut down on our numbers. Usually we try to have 3 and myself. But, I mean, for the most part, you know, people back up with a truck, you know, throw them in a
Most people
pile.
have, you know, taken them off.
Yeah.
whatever they like.
Okay, let's move on
Okay,
to, Historical Society. Do we want to address that?
Well, I'll start by addressing that Bill and I were in touch with Greg Evans, who is our consultant for the relief funds. And he did verify with us that that would be an eligible expense.
But I think 46,000 is excessive.
I agree.
And I think I mean, Patty was telling me earlier that their bylaws include a phrase that says, the town will take over the building ownership of it if they ever dissolve.
Yeah.
So we do have a, you know.
We do have a stake.
We have a stake in this structure, and I think the Historical Society is a worthy investment. So I would recommend that we maybe give them 25,000,
They're asking for 45,
46. Yeah.
46.
They just might have to cut back on some of their construction or whatever. I know that they're required to put handicap bathrooms in, and they've got a lot of projects going on, but I don't think we need to fund the whole thing. You know, they can have some more fundraisers, and
I don't know.
so that's
Enough.
my opinion. That's just my opinion.
I don't know much about it, so really.
Anybody else got any questioning about it?
Maybe.
I don't know, I mean, do we know what they would not be able to do if we went down to 25,000 to
No.
know? I mean, some of what she was talking about were required
Yeah,
improvements.
That's where the bathroom.
Well, we could-
Electrical, I think there was some, were the windows required for?
I don't know because I was the code officer for 21 years, but I'm not
Yeah,
involved with this
yeah.
project at all. So I don't know what is required and what is wished for.
Right, that's
So-
what, it's hard to make a
But
judgment.
we could ask for their quotes and,
I would like to see that,
okay, before we do a
Before deciding.
decision.
See where the money's going.
yes.
Okay.
And what would get
Yeah, that's fair enough. I
Okay.
agree with
taken
that.
out if we didn't
Okay,
do the 46,000.
So we'll table this till next month, and hopefully we'll have that report by then.
okay.
So who will be asking for the report?
Patty can ask for that report.
Yeah,
Okay.
Check if there was any
Got it
updates
in.
on any of those new grants that were suggested too.
Oh, actually, Carol did it the very next day, and we were not, or sorry, the Historical Society wasn't eligible for any of them.
Really?
Yeah,
And what prevented them from being eligible?
Carol explained it to me. I'll ask her again.
Okay.
Now, did,
Yeah, she explained it at the last board meeting also.
last month, didn't she give us a sheet with,
All the things they wanted.
Did she give us do we have the sheet?
let's still table it.
Okay.
If I have
I
the sheet,
think
I'll
she
show
did,
it to
but
you.
I don't know.
I think I have it in last month's
I don't
file,
know if she
and I'm not gonna go get it right now, but
indicated
I'll,
what was necessary.
and I'll show it to you.
Okay,
We'll discuss it next month.
sounds good.
All right. New business. Jim and myself have been approached about the ash trees over here on the border of the cemetery. I don't believe there's that many. Did you
Well, I
see?
guess it started with, even last year this is going on, but when the branches fall off the trees, whoever's doing our mowing puts the branches over on their property if they're on our property.
Oh, shit.
So they didn't complain about it last year, but you know, they're retired folks and they don't feel that should be done. And after looking down the hedgerow, there's a lot of ash trees in there that have to come out anyway. So I think, we should take at least ownership or partial ownership.
So
Remove those ash trees because they are a hazard and a liability anyway.
I'm looking at them, Kevin. They're not really that big around.
I was gonna say, if memory serves me, they're not.
What'd we count, 3 or 4 today, Bill?
I think it's more than that, but-
Well, I didn't go all the way.
Just to our property lines, all we're gonna go.
Right.
So if you want to look at it and
I think we'll Jim and I could probably tag team at the same time we're out here digging.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah, we can do
Good
that.
idea.
Okay,
Get him out of there.
Yep.
And then we need to talk to our mower and ask him not to put any other tree branches or anything.
yeah,
on
we'll
his
find a
property.
place for them to put them on our property and mow around until
We
we
can
get.
put them down here where there's a whole bunch of junk and stuff anyway. It's just all brush down there.
And I think it's in the contract to pick that stuff up, so.
Yeah. Good.
All right, we'll address that. I don't have anything else on new business. I did have down ash trees for the highway right away, but we've already talked about that. So I have nothing else on the agenda. Ed has something.
Just because I promised somebody that I would do this, I've been getting a lot of people asking, and I tell them there's nothing we can do about it. They would like a stoplight at the intersection of Mill Street and 96B.
Well, let me help you on that. That would have to go through the state.
Yep, that's what I tell them.
And yep, so let them go down there and the state will do a study
And then tell them no.
Say no.
but you know what? I mean, I would rather them go do that and ask
It's
so
worth
they
a
get an
try.
answer from them instead of us. Yeah. You know that, right? Ed? But you had to bring it up anyway, didn't
I said, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll mention it.
Yeah,
So,
Have there been accidents there?
oh, many,
A lot.
many.
Because usually this, I mean, I know for another intersection. there
That's by the
was
dandy.
Ithaca, 96B and Stone Quarry. After talking with the state, they did put in a note because there had been a number of accidents. So they will consider it and it's worth making it.
Well, they'll do a study. If they get enough requests, they'll do a study on it. Definitely will.
Will.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they may in fact want to put in a light.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt them to try. I'd make them tell you, I'd make them tell me
We can
no.
say we're a real big town, we have a light.
Yes.
We're gonna have a new road through there and that's gonna make them go faster. Okay, anything else on privilege of the floor? If not, I'd like to go into an executive session to discuss an employee. And somebody make a motion to do that.
I'll move that we go into executive session.
One second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And it's still light out.
Yeah. Just as I'm heading out, you wanna stop your,
Bill, you're gonna give that to,
Your meeting?
you wanna stop your recording since you're.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
everybody signed it?
I believe so.
Okay.
Said it.